Hello, you smashers. How are you doing? Today I'm going to share with you a message I was given from the Jesus Energy, and it's all about what we need to do right now and where we are and what they think is the best route for us going forward. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So it's been a while since I talked to the Jesus Energy, so I connected with them and I said to them, look, where we are now, what do you think the best thing is for us to do? What should we be doing? And what they said, they kind of echoed something that the emissary said about not being distracted, not getting sidetracked from our purpose and our journey. And what they said is that, they said, look, there are tons of distractions at the moment. In fact, everything's set up to distract us. And they said, sometimes what we see in these distractions, they said, in fact, sometimes we're so upset by what we see in these distractions. They give me three analogies. They said, sometimes we just want to spit our dummies out. Sometimes we want to pick up the football and take it home. You know how the kids, I'm taking my ball home. Sometimes we feel like that. And they said also, sometimes we feel that we want to fold. We're playing a game of cards and we want to fold. We want to just throw our cards down. They said, however, don't let that happen. Our job now is to not be distracted and to forge our path. Right? That's what they were saying. And they give me this long kind of visual about what we have to do. And they showed me kind of somebody cutting through the jungle with a machete, you know, boom, boom. I'm watching at the moment Lost. My wife and I are watching a few series. It's enormous. I think I'll be about 100 by the time we finish watching it. But there's a lot of chopping through the jungle, through the leafy part of the jungle. And that's what they said that we have to do. But then they added something really important. They said, you've got to forge your path. And you mustn't wait for anybody else. They said, the people that are following us are the walking wounded sometimes, the limping, the slow, they're not as quick as us. They said that the way that we forge our path is by doing exactly that, doing what we know we should do. And they said there's no point in waiting for others, there's no point. And they said also, there's no point in trying to drag people with us. They're gonna find their own path. They're going to follow us, but we have to do it. And I suppose, you know, as a metaphor, it's just saying, just get on with your shit. Do your stuff and don't worry about anybody else. What they said is this, as we forge our path and we move forward and we become the best version of ourselves that we can be, which is what they said over and over again, just be the best version that you can be. You know what it is that you have to do. You know which way forward is, but your way forward is not everybody else's. But what they said is, as we do that, we will begin to be illuminating lights. We're going to leave a path behind. They said the path that we forge won't disappear. It'll be there, and it'll be there for others to follow. And they'll follow our path because of the light that we emit. They'll see us. And they'll follow us. But if we wait for them, if we hang fire, if we spend our whole time trying to convince them that this is the right path, we're just wasting our time. We're wasting our purpose. Our purpose is to cut that path. And everybody has a different path. So you've got your own machete. And your job is to cut your own path, not anybody else's. And if you spend your time trying to cut paths for other people, it takes a lot of effort and then they still don't come. As well we know. As well we know. Who hasn't spent loads of time, as we say up north, loads of time trying to convince people that we are right. Trying to convince people that we know better than them. And what good has it done of us? What good has it done us? Nothing. It's probably done the opposite. You know, people just flee from us. You go, oh my God, here comes the fill in the gap. let's run. And what's the point? Everybody's here for their own journey. Everyone's here to do their own learning. Some people have chosen to come here not to learn. Some people have chosen here to make big mistakes. God knows, I did for a long time. Just making mistake after mistake. What was all that about? Well, that was my journey. However, now that the energies are increasing, we are given more strength. And not only strength, but we're given more intuition and more guidance to know what our path is. Okay? It's beautiful to help people. It's beautiful to offer advice to people. But you know the expression, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And so sometimes people do come and they do want help and they do want your advice. But you've got to wait for them to ask you. They appear to you. You don't have to appear to them. So you just get on with your business, and then when somebody will tap you on the shoulder, like the little fish swimming through the sea that goes up to the big fish and says, please let me know, tell me, I'm looking for the ocean, where is it? And the big fish says, you're in it. And the little fish says, what a load of bunkum, and off it goes swimming to ask somebody else where the ocean is. That's the situation. Offer. If people ask, offer. But you've got to understand as well, and there's something that it took me a long time to understand. Often people ask you and they don't want to know the answer. They ask you because, well, you know, they just feel a bit confused about it. But then you give them the answer and they think, well, that isn't the answer that I wanted. I didn't want to hear that. Thank you very much. And off you go, you know. And maybe that seed that you planted will start to grow later on. But it's not your business. You don't have to keep going back and watering it. They'll just get wet and annoyed. That's all. So, that's the plan. Don't be distracted. Forge your path. And they said, just keep cutting through the foliage. They said, because you never know what beautiful thing you're going to find at the end. And they showed me like a watering hole with a waterfall, and all beautiful when you get through. Once the path's cut, it's there. So you forge your path and understand that there are lots of people milling behind us. I mean, people are milling everywhere, and I'm talking on a kind of an awakening level. There's a lot of milling going around. Lots and lots of people wandering around, looking under stones, looking down rabbit holes. Let them do their thing. We've done it. Let them do it. And then if they come and ask you, what do you think that is? I don't know how many times. You know, when somebody asks me this is interesting. When somebody asks me, who's clearly in the process of waking up, I'll often say to them, okay, I'll give you my opinion, but which version would you like? Like the story, do you want the partial truth, the medium truth, or the whole truth? And obviously I'm aware that that isn't the whole truth, but according to me, the information I know. I always give them a choice because I don't want to give them the whole welly like I used to. You know, I used to give them the whole shebang, and you could see them like, fucking hell, didn't expect that. That escalated quickly. You know, you can see it in the face like, ooh, really? So generally, you know, I'll give them kind of like just a flavour of it. But, you know, you have to learn to do that. Sometimes, you know, we're so effusive, aren't we? We're so kind of energised by what we find out. You know, when you go down the rabbit hole and you go, oh my God. Remember that with things like water, understanding how water's not great, you know, the water that they give us, or understanding about food or medicine or the television, all of these things that I was kind of finding out, school. And I found that when I offloaded to people, they weren't very happy, basically. You know, they went, why did you just offload on me? And so, over the time, as I've said before, I learned to shut the fuck up. And there you are. So that's all that we have to do. If they want to ask, great, but you just keep going forward, doing your thing in your way with the knowledge that you've got. That's the message, and I love you all, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye-bye.